Hello and welcome to my New York vlog. In this vlog, I go to New York for about 4 days and show my art and exhibit in the city. Hope you enjoy the ride. I know I did. On the way to New York. We're driving. Say hi, Philip. Whoa! Somebody say whoa! It's New York. New York. I'm way too close. Did you say money?
Money. Stock market.
Test.
Finance. In a city that never
So the first day we drove about 5 hours from Boston to New York because I had way too much art to fit on the train, and we went to the venue, which was in kind of midtown Manhattan, Iron 23, right by the Iron Building. And here's some clips of me installing. I arrived about 12:30 p.m. and began installing, and the whole process took me about 4 hours. I had one 8-foot wall space to kind of put my work up, and I was already so psyched at this point. I had walked through, and just seeing all the artists with all their work was so cool, so surreal. I had to pinch myself a few times, and it was only install, so. This was also my first time seeing this body of work together in a wall, in a gallery space, and it looks so cool. I really like the pieces together as a body of work. I have made it to the Airbnb. It's really cute. I'm on the 8th floor. I walked from the Uber to the hotel room, Airbnb room, and my arm hurts so bad. I carried 3 paintings and that suitcase, and I am dead. So, but we made it, and we hung everything, and I have not felt super stressed today, so it's crazy, but so far so good. I then made a little ramen. I had brought most of my food with me because I didn't really want to spend money on food, and then went out to enjoy the city. I did some shopping, but that's between you and me, and then I went to the Empire State Building just to get some touristy stuff in. This was on, I think, the 80th floor before the top, and just being at this level was so cool. I really love city lights at night. They're so calming and beautiful and inspiring. And so I just went up here for a while around 10 p.m. and stayed for a good long while staring out into the lights, taking in the city, really thinking about what tomorrow would bring as I went and showed my art. I think being up here and taking all the lights in, I really had this moment of realizing, wow, I am doing something that I never thought in a million years I would be doing. I guess growing up, I just always thought I would be in California, and now having moved all the way across the country and seeing how easy that was, and now being in New York by myself, showing my art, it just felt like, I don't even want to say dreams coming true because I never even dared to dream that big, but here I was. Hello, we've got today's fit. Very cute little white skirt, my fanny pack, some jewelry, feeling very cute. Ready to go to an art gallery. It's called Paraton, and I believe Daniel Arshaman is going to be on view. So I'm really excited to see the work and excited to get on the subway for the first time. Hopefully it goes well. And here I made it to Paraton and Daniel Arshaman on view with the exhibition called 20 years, and this was kind of a conglomeration of Daniel Arsham's work over the past 20 years, which also coincides with the beginning of his relationship with Emmanuel Perrotin, who is the owner of this gallery. And I really loved all these works, specifically the paintings, because as a painter, I feel like we see less and less these days of like realistic work in gallery spaces. And I don't get me wrong, I love these sculptures with the erosions on them, the quartz and like crystals coming out of them, but the paintings were just so beautiful. They were oil paintings, well done. I loved seeing the texture come through in his paintings, and also his colors remaining consistent throughout all of his work. I just really enjoyed that, because I find that hard myself to like stick with a color palette, but he just does it so well. Here is another artist. I think her name is Kelly Beeman, but I loved her work too. She had these large-scale paintings of women in this like stylized manner, and they all made me so nostalgic for memories with my sister growing up, especially the one with the two in the car. I feel like I've sat in that same position with my sister, falling asleep as we drove down a mountain road. So that was a really sweet and unexpected surprise. This is the upper level with Daniel Arsham's work, and I was watching Marilyn Buchanan's video on this exhibition as well, and that's where I learned most of this stuff. But she calls him a modern day pop artist because he has all these like little pieces of his own world and pop culture in them, like the Star Wars, R2D2, and C3PO that you can see there, and then all the other things like the watches, the keys, the Mustangs, the cars, everything. Those are kind of his pieces of pop art that he likes to talk about. He also talks about the passage of time, which I think is really cool, and I loved these tiny little sketches for his ideas. So hi, I just got back from the Daniel Arsham gallery. Well, it's Paraton, I think is how you pronounce it, but So I just figured out how to say it, and it's Paraton, not Paraton, like I was saying, like some American or something, but it's Leviosa, not Leviosa. I went and saw Daniel Arsham's work, and it was like a retrospective over the past 20 years of his art making, and it was so inspiring, honestly, because he was just painting things that he loves and things that kind of are his everyday life. Like he had a photo, like a painting of his art desk that he had, and he did it in kind of his color palette, which made it his own and unique, and it felt like you were stepping into his world. And I think my favorite piece in the exhibition was he had this giant wall-length kind of like imaginary fantasy world that was his own, and he had like his statues which he painted in there, and like a house, and then this gorgeous like landscape, and then he had on the left side kind of an Easter egg of R2D2 and, why am I blanking on it, C3PO, which he also had a couple sculptures with kind of, he calls it erosions, and I really loved those too. But it's really cool to just see somebody making stuff that he loves and showing it in galleries, and I bought a tiny little print of his, which I might show you later. But yeah, I got on the subway for the first time, and that was fun. I didn't get lost, so that was great. I think having been to Paris and doing it in a different language definitely prepared me for it, and it took me like 2 seconds to figure out how to get back. Opening a Diet Coke because I changed because I'm just too hot right now. Sorry, I was about to explode, but yeah, so I changed back into like comfy clothes because it was really hot outside, and I think I'm going to relax, eat, maybe watch a couple videos on how to talk about your work, just because I feel a little rusty and I want to practice a little bit and think about how I'm going to talk to potential people and just prep for tonight. So I got to be there at 3:30 for kind of last finishing touches, which I'll probably get a couple videos of that, and then it starts tonight, so super excited. I think the first night sold out, so I really don't know what to expect, and I'm really excited, really nervous. I don't know if it's gonna be like amazing. Yeah, I think it will be. I don't know. I don't know. I'm all over the place, but It should be really good tonight. I'm really excited to meet people, talk to people. I have small goals, I have big goals in mind. I want to talk to people, get their emails, see kind of what my potential client base would look like, because I've never been in front of like a bunch of like this many people before with this new body of work. So I want to see like who's attracted to it, who's drawn in by it, and so I'll gather those emails and then talk to people and hopefully sell a few pieces tonight. So if I can sell one, like, goal for the night finish. But you know, if I sell out first night, that is awesome too. And then I'll be like, crap, I gotta create some new work or something by the morning. But yeah, excited for the rest of the day. Opening night went so good. I had so many pinch me moments and crazy encounters with people. Here I am, day 2 on the subway. I spilled coffee on my shirt first thing and made it to Almine Rech, I think is how you pronounce it. But you know, my track record's not going so well. But this exhibition was so inspiring for me because working in this abstract style, I feel like I've been missing the layering that I got working with my kind of expressionistic animals, and so seeing the layers of paint underneath the squiggles and swirls that Theo Ziegler had here in his Essential Figures exhibition, I just was so inspired to go out and begin doing washes again before my paintings and then doing layers on top and creating shapes. And here I am. I made it to Central Park, which was honestly, out of all the touristy things I did, probably my favorite place. Shocker, I liked the nature trail the best. But I found a castle, which was crazy. And inside the castle, this really nice lady showed me how to get to this really great park bench. And so I decided to go there afterwards, and it was so pretty. If I lived in New York, I'd be here every day. Like, I loved this place. Day 2 was the first day the show was open to the public, and I met my first collector, which was so fun, such a good feeling. On day 3, I decided to go to Chelsea, which is about a 20-minute walk from where I was staying, and I wanted to see specifically the Hauser and Wirth gallery. They were having an exhibition of 2 artists, Nicholas Party, who did this series called the Swamp series, and it was all about biodiversity, which was honestly kind of shocking to me. I didn't realize he was kind of talking about nature in his works and climate catastrophe, but he does these large-scale site-specific pastel murals, which is what that last image was, and I loved these pieces. They were so soft and dreamy and beautiful, and made me feel like I had to bust out the pastels and do something mountain related. But I also really loved the mix of kind of the extremes of intense blues and then bright, vivid reds to talk about. It was just reminiscent of like melting and heating, like fires and all that. So it was really beautiful work. And then on the upper floor was Ed Clark, who the exhibition was called The Big Sweep, and he was a part of, I think, New York's some kind of art college in the 50s and 60s. He's credited with being the first person to work on shaped canvases, although to be quite frank, I didn't like his circular canvases at all. They were kind of, the colors were given it for me, but this one, he had a couple of pieces where the colors were just like so juicy and delicious, and the grays were just going at it, is all I can say. But I think those were his later works, and I really, really, really loved them. And also he had some like raw canvas showing. So here you can see that big one on the back was my favorite. I loved the mix of the green and the orange. He uses a broom which is why the exhibition is called the Big Sweep, to mix the paint around and get it on the canvas. And then as I was walking home in preparation for the show, I randomly saw an exhibition of McLean Thomas's work, which in college I loved her stuff. I studied her so much because I was really into putting glitter on canvases, and she's always worked with photography and Swarovski crystals, and so seeing this exhibition of her newest work was so cool to me. The crystals, the very graphic details, the squiggles that she had, I really just was so inspired, and I loved the way she brought the collage elements out onto the wall of the gallery. This mural was so cool, and I was just having the best time. And then here is day 4 and some clips of some people, because I honestly forgot to film the actual exhibition space. I was so busy talking to people and manning my booth and being there. But this is Holy Fluck, I think is her Instagram, and she does these installation light fixture pieces that were so pretty. I wanted to buy one. This is art by Wiley Holton, who is a Massachusetts-based artist. Her paintings are about neurodiversity, and they have beautiful gradients. I loved her work. And this is Sherwin, and his handle is Socador Art. His oil paintings are hyper real and very cool and stylized, and I loved his color palettes. And this was my very next door neighbor, Karina Guerrero Art, and we all went out for drinks afterwards to celebrate. And then I treated myself by going to Black Seed the next day, which was probably one of the only meals I had in New York, to be honest. But I had a pumpernickel bagel with salmon, and it was so good. What is happening, guys? So I am back from New York. I've been back for about a week now, just working, catching up on daily life. I've gotten a few emails from other potential buyers, so that's been really neat. And I honestly had the best time at the art fair. It was so cool. I met this great community of people, which I have put in the video right before this, so go ahead and follow them because they're all really cool. I met a couple of artists from Massachusetts that live right near me, so I'm super pumped about that. And I think my favorite thing from this art fair was just all the people that I met and connections I made with people in New York, which is really, really cool. So hopefully I'll be able to make some community there. And I met a couple gallerists, and I've been in contact with them, emailing them, and it's been really cool, the people that my art draws in and the people that I make connections with, because on the outside it's an abstract piece of art. It's not really like a definite picture that's showing you something, but then the people that it draws in and the conversations I had with people, like, it was just really cool to see on all levels. It felt like we connected about the work and the meaning behind the work. A lot of people were saying just how hope-filled they were when they looked at the work, which is something that I really love, and I think that's always been in my art, just this childlikeness and wonder. And the work is about, you know, climate change and disruption of the environment, because I've been studying about that, but then also I'm using these colors and textures and things to talk about emotions and to reignite this childlike wonder so that we can tackle these hard things and, you know, go after conservation. And I really, really love the people that I met and the conversations I had. So without further ado, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for coming, thanks for watching, and I'm super excited. My parents are coming next week, so I'll probably film that, and that'll be the next video. And then I also have a bunch of little fun kind of reward projects I'm going to be doing for myself. I got a bunch of knitting supplies, and I taught myself knitting this past week, and I've been busy doing that. And lo and behold, there's a great yarn shop right down the street from me, so I went there. I can't wait to show you that in the next video, so stay tuned. I'll see you next week. Bye!